Hey everybody, welcome back to One Seed, One World. So this is going to be #1 video of a playlist that I am beginning, all about flax and growing flax, and hopefully make it into thread and weaving it on a loom if all things go well. So this is the next step in our sustainability process with growing another crop that we can maybe use for other things besides eating, but also for just general use. All right, so flax has been around for thousands of years. It's like one of the oldest crops that were grown. I don't want to say commercially, but you know, it was grown to make linen and also to eat the flax seeds. Goes back to ancient Sumerians. There's writings on that. It's in the Bible. The Egyptians grew it, and throughout time, flax has been grown and used, and most specifically to be made into linen. And so my idea was to grow a crop of flax and try the old methods of learning how to turn it from just a general crop of pretty green stalks and blue flowers and make it into some thread and linen and then weave it on a loom. So hopefully you'll follow along with this playlist and see how it goes. So this is day 1. So I had these great dreams of growing flax and making the thread and linen and everything. And I didn't really know how much I was gonna need, but I was like, oh yeah, I can make some clothes out of it, or, you know, tablecloth, or I don't know, something cool, maybe. I don't know if tablecloth is really that cool, but it'd be cool to grow something and then make something out of it, right? So I had all these dreams about that. And then I saw something that you need 2 acres of flax to make enough thread to weave into 1 tablecloth. What? So that kind of dashed my hopes a little bit. I have a plot that I'm doing here on the end of my raised beds that is about 25 feet long by about 4 feet wide. So maybe I'll get enough to make a napkin. I don't know. But we will see. So anyway, flax should be pretty easy to grow. It should be direct sown. You don't want to start it inside early or whatever. Wait till after your last frost date if you decided to grow flax, and then you'll direct sow it, and I'll show you that. I'm going to sow it kind of thick today in this area that I have, and then we'll see how it goes. It has a fairly short growing season, so it shouldn't be any problem to grow here in Zone 6B of Western Maryland. But once it's grown and you have to start, you know, once you harvest it to make into your linen, there's a lot of other steps that have to go into the process. And there's words like retting and scutching and combing, and then making it into thread, and then weaving and all that kind of thing. So we bought a loom this year. We already have a spinning wheel. So we've got those things, but for the scutching and combing and those kind of things, I'm gonna have to build some stuff. So that's gonna be some future episodes, because I'm just gonna make some rustic, old school type tools to do this with. So hopefully you'll follow along and check out the other videos as they come up. But today we're just gonna plant the stuff and go from there. See how planting flax goes. So there's different varieties of flax. And some are better for making the thread out of than others. And I will throw up on the screen here the variety that I purchased that is supposed to be good for making thread out of. But it is a kind of a green stalky type plant that puts off beautiful blue flowers, which will also hopefully be good for my bees to pollinate and get some food off of. And then of course, besides making thread out of, you can always save some of your crop later and harvest the flax seeds from, which flax seeds have all kinds of benefits, and for making oil and just grinding up in your smoothies, whatever you want to do. So it's got a couple of uses, multiple uses, I guess, if you count the bees and the pollinators. Good for them. So let's get into planting some flax. but I'm just gonna break up the ground a little bit so we can start sowing our flax seeds. All right, so I got a couple of bags of flax seed here, ready for planting. And they get anywhere from 12 to 24 inches high, and they put off blue, this variety puts off blue flowers. It's the annual blue flax, which I think is kind of the common one that they do in the US. But this is the one that I read should make the best thread. But you can also, like I said, harvest the seeds. So what I'm going to do is, now that I've got this raked out, is I'm just going to start broadcasting the seed throughout it pretty thickly, and then rake and press it in. Okay, so the flax seeds are all in. I broadcasted them pretty heavily through here, so because you don't want weeds to get involved and choke them out. So I'm hoping that by broadcasting them fairly heavily, they will take over the area and prevent the majority of any weeds from coming in. After I broadcasted the seed on the soil that I'd already raked, I raked it again, then also tapped a lot of the areas down. And so hopefully that should give them enough. And then I'll water it throughout the week. I'm not watering it tonight with the planting because we just had a bunch of rain yesterday. The soil is very moist and damp. I think it'll be okay for a day or so, but I will continue to water it. Germination should occur in about 10 to 14 days. So we will follow up in a couple weeks and see where we're at. Hopefully in the meantime, the local squirrel population doesn't come out here and dig a bunch of holes or take my flax seeds. I've been having a problem with the squirrels this year with digging. They don't so much get in and eat my plants or anything. They dig all these holes, and sometimes they'll even steal my seeds, and I need to figure out what to do about the squirrels. Don't worry, I'm not going to kill the squirrels. I'm a very live and let live guy. I'm not a hunter. But I'm going to have to make sure they're not out here digging around. Generally, I just run out of the house when I see them getting into my beds and stuff, and wave my arms a lot and yell a little bit. So, day one of flax planting is done. That was pretty easy. But we have a lot of more things to do. Like I said, I got to make the tools and learn all this other stuff with weaving and making thread and all that. So hopefully you'll follow along with that. I'm not really sure why I picked some of these projects. I mean, it'd be much easier to plant some tomatoes in here. But instead, you know, I'm planting stuff like flax and then building stuff to weave the flax with. All for, you know, your entertainment. Are you not entertained? No, actually, yes, granted, it gives me more YouTube content, but I like to learn these things, and I like to learn a lot of the old ways, and I get really excited about the history of different things and learning how to do it the old way. And I think it's very beneficial to know how to do these things, because you never know, like the grid goes down or something and you got some knowledge on how to do these old skills. Maybe, you know, you can grow a couple acres of flax and make yourself a shirt when nobody else has one. I don't know. So that's it for today. That is episode 1 of the flax. Nothing overly exciting, but it will get more exciting as the episodes come along, so stay tuned. Whatever's going on in your neck of the woods, I hope it's gone fantastic for you, and that you are trying some new plants this year and that they are working out well. But thanks for stopping by and hanging out with me again today. We'll see you again soon. Namaste.